drink?
It's right here.
Oh,
Twisted tea for all of the racist people.
We can be gone in an instant, but listen, I tell you no lie. I'ma make it to long, greatest thing faking, no, I'm on the rise, I tell you no lie.
Like a cobra in the grass.
she's been doing big things lately, like starting her own online business and releasing fantastic new music. Lauren, welcome to the show. First of all, can you just tell me about Lauren Lolita?
Okay, so the name actually came a long time ago. I made it in high school, and so Lauren is my real middle name. And then the Lolita part comes from the Lolita style of Japanese street art, because I still am a huge anime fan. So I really, really loved the Lolita look. So at some point through the process of thinking of, you know, a name of what I would call myself, that's how I formulated Lauren Lolita.
So I noticed you had a very galactic vibe. For instance, your YouTube channel is Lauren Lolita's Moon.
It actually references two different things. For me, the very first, we kind of go back to the anime, because the very first anime I got into ever was Sailor Moon. The whole thing about this, not only having girl power, but you're adding these elements of astrology into it. It was fascinating to me. Second thing is I have this really huge love of the moon itself. It's just so, I don't know, it gives me energy. It charges me up. I feel like it just charges me up. Like I charge my stones and stuff under it. So I just feel like the moon in itself is a really big safe haven for me.
Welcome to the phases. This is where I change.
Can you give us a glimpse into your process?
So this was my very first EP, and I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I was nervous because I'm writing things, and I mean, it's coming from me, but it's like, how will somebody connect to this? Or will somebody connect to this? So I think during the writing process, I try to stay with ideas or problems that I go through, or, you know, and then translate that into, I guess, lyrically, how it can reach somebody else. So I had to really pay attention to that when I was writing. And overall, it was a wonderful process. It really made me reflect on what I wanted to do for the future. I enjoyed it thoroughly, all the way up to the production and seeing how everything came together. It was just great. It was great.
And it's the same. And it's the same. And it's the same. Mundane, drifting off into a plane without a motherfucking thing to my.
Can you tell me about the inspiration for this song?
There are a lot of moments in which we can really just get stuck. And in getting stuck, you become complacent. So being complacent, you literally stay there. And so you're going through the motions, which is the analogy of the pinwheel. You're just going like this. But at some point in time, I'm like, well, what would happen if you just did what you wanted, and really truly pursued what you wanted? Never staying on a pinwheel motive, always forward. And I think the message in Pinwheel was that, I'm doing me. I'm not gonna stick to this complacency. I have things to do. I have things that I want to do. So I got to change my mindset. It all starts with the mindset. If your mindset is stuck on a pinwheel motive, that's where you're going to stay. If you want to go forward, it has to start here.
Call me Black Butterfly, because I fantasize about the right while making moves no one else likes. And I despise those who constantly change clothes.
Pretty much the process when I go over to Sneak Buddha Studio is usually us. We all kind of filter in different times and whatever. They have files and files of beats. So what he'll do is he'll just kind of click through. When he played this one, I just felt like, okay, all right, hold on. I think we got something here. I sat down and I literally thought to myself, okay, how do I feel right now? How do I feel right now listening to this beat? And so that's when I came with the chorus. And I just feel the world has gone in a completely chaotic direction. No one can even predict what next. With that being said, we could be gone in an instant. but listen, I tell you no lie. And then I just started going off of that, and I applied it to myself. Well, how does this make me feel? I'm gonna make it till I'm the greatest. Ain't faking, no. I'm on the rise. I have to rise. I have to literally rise from the ashes and get myself to where I want to be. That's kind of what I wrote there as far as the core. And then everyone, I mean, Skinny Buddha and Leopardhead just kind of latched on, and then they applied it to themselves individually, and it formulated into the singer that you have.
My neighbors probably hear me coming through the walls of the house.
How did this collaboration begin?
I met Skinny Buddha at my former job, and so we started to, like chit chat and stuff, and we both found out that we make music. And I was like, oh, and at the time I had already released Phases. Phases had already been, well, actually, I'm sorry. I was in the process of releasing it. By the time we, like started to really formulate a plan of, hey, you should come record or whatever, I had already released Phases. From there, I got a feel of how they create and how they produce and everything. And it just, it clicked, and it soon became more than just music. They're like a second family to me. I think interactions like that are extremely important. And I feel like any artist out there that makes connections with other artists, and if the vibe is clicking, definitely build on top of that. Bonds are most important thing. And it doesn't even have to be relating to music. You could be a painter, you could be an architect. Like building with other painters and architects, that is there's nothing like it, because I feel like you have an extension of support, not only with your loved ones around you, but you also have the connection. Skinny Buddha, Leopardhead, they are most definitely DJ Constellations, another one, you'll hear about him. Shout out to them. They are amazing, and that's how we linked up and became fam.
Ain't it strange? Just last year was too different. With the rolling free eye, wouldn't let my dreams die, losing hella sleep like. Ain't it strange? This year one question remains. Who really want change and don't just throw change to make it all go away? Ain't it strange?
Strange is kind of like a twinge darker of Rise. It's not super dark, but it's just a shade darker, because Strange is looking at the perspective of how society views Black people, and with that becomes a focus on the individual. And so you have three different perspectives of how we feel society views Black people and how we view ourselves in our dreams. And so Strange is kind of like even the course itself is like, ain't it strange? Like, it's rhetorical. Like, it's so weird that some people get so like, oh, Black people have dreams. I'm not saying that everybody, but there are some people that just, it's little things, and they're just like, oh, Black people do this, Black people, oh, Black, like, that's kind of strange to me. Yes, I mean, so we all kind of played around with that idea. Shout out to Q's Wave. We all three of us, Leopardhead, Q's Wave, and myself, we just kind of fed out, like, we just started thinking about little things like, ain't it strange about this, I'm just a color man, trying to make my way through the simulation. And then Q's Wave referencing, like, Xing out fake friends. So we all just kind of started applying things that we feel are strange to society, but these are things that we aspire for ourselves. Like, who wants a fake friend in their circle? Who wants to just feel like they're walking through the simulation? Who wants to feel like they can't inspire women to dream? I want other Black women to feel like no matter what it is you aspire to do, it's not strange. Go do it. Just because they don't get it, it doesn't matter. You have to get it for yourself. You are strong and you got this. So Strange is just it's kind of like a cheeky like poke at society and how they view Black people and Black dreams.
So why hide it? Success is what I'm eyeing, teaching my demons new meaning.
I want to know what's in the future for Lauren Lolita. Maybe your master plan.
I have two things kind of formulating. I am going to re-release the Phases EP, as I mentioned earlier. That'll be coming this year, so I'm really excited about it. And also, I am in the process of writing a brand new EP. I don't want to really say what it'll focus on, but I'm very excited because I feel like you will be able to tell the difference between my first EP versus the new EP and its content. This one is going to be, it's going to be a lot more honest and direct. And I already have like a vision of what I want to carry it out as. It's probably going to be 5 or 6 tracks. I haven't quite decided yet, but I do want to note that there will be like a storyline built into it, and this storyline will pretty much like thread itself through into my future projects. When I write, I'm telling a story as well, so I really want that to translate visually as well as lyrically. If I don't feel like this track is saying something to me, 9 times out of 10, I feel like it's not going to say something to somebody else. Yeah, so that's for this year. The overall master plan is definitely to keep a storyline throughout my music. Definitely going to hop on a few more features from people, not just with my fam at Black League, but also with artists that I have met on other platforms. So stay tuned.
I need you. For what? Spaceship 26, me and my bitch.
You have been doing Total Life Changes, LLC.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that for a second?
It's just basically wellness products that I sell because I just feel like, again, I'm an indie artist, right? So anything that, any music videos or anything else, is coming from me. It's coming out of my pocket. So I was like, okay. In the beginning, I was like, all right, how can I, make a side hustle? And because I have to, my equipment, like, it's not free. But I started taking the products as well, and they just make me feel great. Like detoxing, I didn't know a whole lot about detoxing, but I feel a lot better, and I feel a lot more focused than I have before. It's definitely something that has changed my mentality, my well-being, and it's just really, there's various products, and it's not just the tea itself, the CBD tea that we sell, or there's CBD not non-CBD tea that we sell as well. There's also different products like CBD oils that if you're having trouble with sleeping, and other things like a CBD topical cream as well.
Who do you think you are? What do you think this is?
What would you like your fans to know if you could tell them anything right now?
If it's something that you're going to regret not pursuing, please pursue it. Ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to be a singer. That was just the thing that I wanted to be. And my mother is the youngest of 8. So there was always like a variety of music like floating around me, whether it was from her or one of my aunts and uncles. It was just, so I've always been around music. And so I wanted to be a singer. I loved singing. It just made me feel good. When I was in high school, I was taking vocal lessons and tried out for talent shows. And it was always hurtful feeling like I couldn't do it because there were people around me the energy around me just wasn't as supportive as I had envisioned. And so I gave up on myself and I just stopped. Then fast forward to when I was in college, and I graduated college. I'm looking for work at this point, and one of my classmates worked down at Assemble Sound as an engineer. And she was like, well, I was asking her about recording to test out a couple tracks. And so from there, she helped me build a couple tracks and the beats and stuff. And I recorded. That was the very first time I had recorded music. After saying to myself years ago, I can't do this. And then I think shortly after that, after those 2 samples were released, I said to myself, I can't leave music a second time. I don't care what people think I should sound like. I don't care about any of those things. I refuse to let music escape me a second time. And so to any of my future fans or any of the fans that I have currently, do not allow other people to set the stage of your future. don't do it, because it's going to reflect what they want, not what you want. That's what you want, go get it. I don't really harp too much on when people, don't dig my sound or whatever. It's just kind of like, okay, like, because it's not going to stop what I'm doing. I want that to be a thing of anybody who's listening to my music, or anybody who will listen to my music in the future. Don't let it stop what you're doing, because you are worth every single effort. If you have people around you who feel like you can't do it, then you need to change your scenery. There are people out there who feel like you can do it. So change your scenery and get to what you want to get to. Please accomplish your dreams. Please don't be one of those people that allows your dream to die quietly in the corners of your heart. So focus on what you want to do. Focus on what you hope to accomplish, and it'll all work out. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen even as you planned it in your head, because mine didn't. But it happened. It's happening right now.
Sometimes I look back on my life like, damn, we made it.
So on Facebook, you can just search up Lauren Lolita, or Lauren.Lolitas with an S .moon. Lauren.Lolitas with an S .moon is my IG handle. You can find me on Twitter as Lunar_L2. I'm on SoundCloud as well, and I'm on all the major streaming platforms. You can just type in Lauren Lolita. So that's how you can get in touch with me.
Put that in your cooker, call it Betty Crocker, cause I'm gon' prosper. I used to try to keep up, but you'll see Lolita's time is now. Yup.
You heard it right here on ZFeed Media's Conversations. Lauren Lolita, everybody. Thanks again for coming.
Thanks, KG. I appreciate you.